This is True Rewind. This is True Rewind.
This is True Rewind. This is True Rewind.
This is True Rewind. This is True Rewind.
Some of those things that Vince McMahon just wishes he could take right back.
Yep.
Like shit.
I knew he was wishing he could take back that Roddy Piper promo on the show. He's like, why did I give this guy a mic? Hello. It is me, you're... Damn it.
Oh, my bad.
4, 3,
Big old blooper, my bad. Oh, shit, I gotta do it again. Sorry.
What?
Jesus.
Hello.
Oh, shit.
What the hell?
He winks.
There's a mute button, pal.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right now.
Wasn't there an intro where he did this before? Like
I could still hear him dying.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. Get in the DeLorean, pump up your flux capacitor for episode 32. True Rewind is the same age as me for episode 32 of True Rewind. This is where me and the Monday Night Warriors, we go back in time to the Monday Night Wars and we review WCW Nitro and WWF Monday Night Raw, and we decide what was the better show for the week. I am back once again with the connoisseur of all reporting, Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon.
Romeo.
What's up, gentlemen? We want to thank here at True Rewind, we want to thank our very own Stat King for our wonderful new intro music. We love it.
Yes, and thank ourselves because we contributed to the cause as well. Yes, and of course he is the supreme Ivan Ooze, everyone's favorite backseat driver, the one, the only, Drunk Guy JJ.
Hello, fellas. How you feeling today?
We're doing wonderful, sir. I hope you're doing well. We had a little blooper before.
I'm scared.
I'm pretty sure Romeo will add that to the edits. This is for January 29th, 1996 of Monday Night Raw and Monday Nitro. Of course, as always, show your support to the True Rewind series. Give us a thumbs up, like this video, share this video with all your wrestling fans and friends. Of course, you can also push the iCard down at the bottom if you haven't already to subscribe to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. Less than 140 subscribers away from that 1K mark, so help us push it along and tell a friend to subscribe to this daily content on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. And of course, you got the notifications, the bell, press all for all notifications for all the great content right here on True Heel Heat. Romeo is our pilot, our driver of the DeLorean, our quarterback extraordinaire. Take it away. He's back in the seat. He got his snacks from 7-Eleven and he's back in the driver's seat. Take it.
Don't drink and drive, kids.
Don't listen to him. Enjoy.
Let's start with Raw, guys, which I forgot to put where they're from, but I'm going to make a strong assumption that they're taped from Stockton, California.
Yeah, that's where they were last
You
week.
are
Correct.
absolutely right, man.
And we're going to start with a rematch of one of the biggest pay-per-view main event disasters in company history. British Bulldog versus Diesel.
Oh, joy.
The crowd is into this big time. They're behind Diesel, despite the what some would say a heel turn, fucking around with The Undertaker at the Royal Rumble.
He's had two heel turns now.
Yeah.
In a span of a month and a half.
During this match, Yokozuna comes to get a closer look and sucker punches Diesel behind the ref's back. Diesel then snake eyes Bulldog onto a turnbuckle that Bulldog himself exposed. Yokozuna tries to leg drop the pin, but Diesel moves out the way, and Bulldog receives the 600-pound leg drop. Diesel
Crushed his
wins.
fucking face.
Dirty finish. Vince McMahon teases dissension between Bulldog and Yokozuna after.
Not much I can say about this match. It was as good as their In Your House in October match. I guess I can say that.
Mercifully a lot shorter.
Yes, thankfully it's a lot shorter, but I like the continued dissension between Camp Cornette as we had the confrontation between Yoko and Vader at the Royal Rumble. We got the miscue here, and we will see if they can recover later on in the night.
Match
Good
sucks.
tease. Thor Hendricks introduces a Bret Hart promo. Bret, still sporting a black eye, said he once had respect for Diesel, not anymore. He fumbles some words again. This is a Bret Hart taped promo.
Can't help himself.
Bret Hart must just go in there and say, okay, we're only doing this once. He says the WWF is now running on Hitman power, and they'll settle it all. He's never lost a steel cage match. And he tells Diesel to bring everything you got, you big dummy.
That was my favorite part of that whole promo.
That
Calling
was-
him a big dummy.
He's not lying either, because Diesel, man, what a dumbass.
We learned there will be at In Your House a crybaby match with Razor Ramon and 1-2-3 Kid, where the loser gets fed a baby bottle and will wear a diaper.
Jesus Christ, this is a
1996.
bad era of WWF where we have a crybaby match, and that's the blow off to this 1-2-3 Kid Razor Ramon rivalry that's pretty much been going on since we started this series. For a whole 32 episodes, this feud has been going on, and the blow off is a crybaby match 1 month before WrestleMania.
No wonder Chico goes out of somewhere else.
I have a note here from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Both Kid and Razor were against the idea of the match, especially Kid, since he's likely the one who will lose. Kid was so upset about it that he left the current tour and missed several house shows. Sounds like a big crybaby to me. He later returned and was punished by having to put over Duke the Dumpster Drosy in squash matches.
Oh damn! I thought you were gonna say Bob Holly.
Perfect.
Damn it! We were this
Do
close.
the voice. Do Bob Holly pitching.
I got an idea. How about we punish 1-2-3 Kid by put me over? He can put me over. Big butts, put my push to the top.
Lose to me.
Lose to me.
Speaking of Duke the Dumpster Drosy, we learned it'll be him versus Hunter S. Helmsley, and Hunter apparently on Superstars gave Duke a nice little haircut.
Yeah.
What a guy.
That was nice of him. Duke's
Yeah.
hair was atrocious.
And then Dork Hendricks shows us a letter sent by Eric Bischoff.
This was
to Vince
awesome.
McMahon.
This was awesome. The fact that we hit the Eric Bischoff signature at the end.
And
And it kept saying Turner Network Associate.
Yes, they don't want to mention Bischoff. They're trying to make this Vince versus Ted, not Eric. The letter's threatening legal action because of the Billionaire Ted skits. I don't know if you paused it to read it, but there's a snarky line in there about understanding Vince McMahon's concern of WCW programming, considering both of their ratings that they keep losing and all that. It's inferred that. And Hendricks says that the WWF, is trying to make them out to be the good guy. They'll defend themselves for the viewer, on behalf of the viewer. I have a note here on this. After this letter, WWF lawyer Jerry McDivitt
Oh God.
responded with a letter of his own. He says that he's telling Bischoff the skits were a response to WCW's disparaging remarks about them for WCW's trademark and copyright violations, specifically, remember Renegade? Copying the Ultimate Warrior gimmick?
Yes.
And interference with contracted wrestlers such as Luger and Madusa, although neither one was actually under contract to WWF when they shipped. Jump ship.
Exactly.
The tone of the letter was basically, go ahead, sue us, and we'll sue you right back. It's expected that the skits will continue and likely get nastier, with rumors that it will imply WCW wrestlers are using HGH, and that Ted Turner doesn't care about the health of his wrestlers. And Dave
Oh,
Meltzer...
fucking dacity. No, all fucking
dacity.
Dave Meltzer says he thinks WWF shouldn't throw stones from a glass house.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And this was probably the nastiest of all the Billionaire Ted segments as well that followed.
Yes, there is a Billionaire Ted press conference with Huckster and Macho Man, and you can just tell that Vince McMahon wrote this. As the reporters questioned so many things that, Ted Turner, trying to put WWF out of business by putting Nitro head to head with them. They make fun of Huckster having in his contract that he never loses. We'll see about that in Nitro tonight. It's to be continued, as Ted says. He doesn't use his own money to put WWF out of business. They also make fun of Ted's health problems here, as he asks for a lithium, which is used to treat bipolar disorder.
That's awful. The word the part that didn't age the best was the reporter who asked him, couldn't you guys just put your television show on a Tuesday or Wednesday? And wouldn't it be better for the fans?
Oh man, you're right.
Like that aged very, very poorly for WWE.
Man, did it.
WWF is trying to play the angle of big bad Ted Turner using his billions of dollars to hurt the WWF.
Not even using his money. He's using other people's money.
That's the Body Donnas with Sonny versus Henry Godwin, and now his cousin, Phineas.
Pig.
Managed by Hillbilly Jim.
It's Hog and Pig. That's their initials. Get it?
No, I didn't get it.
Yes, it's Henry O. Godwin, H-O-G, and Phineas I. Godwin, P-I-G.
Hog, wow.
I was today years old when I learned that.
Fucking mind blown.
Look at this. Look at the shit you learn on True Rewind, man. Phineas, or Pig, wins quickly with a slop drop on Skip. And then they do-si-do with Sunny against her will. As we see up her skirt several more times. It's becoming a regular thing here on Raw.
Their favorite camera view when it comes to Sunny.
It will also become a thing for her life, so yeah, there we go.
Oh, jeez. Clarence Mason is with Jim Cornette defending Vader, who just did self-defense against Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Calls it unlawful and illegal. It's time to reinstate Vader from his suspension. By the way, guys, you can send Gorilla Monsoon your get well wishes. Just mail him a postcard to this address. I wonder what they did with all those.
Right?
I had to ask my girl, was that your family's address in Stanford? She was like, no, it's actually my work address.
You should ask her if she has any of these get well cards. I would love to read a few.
Absolutely.
Vince McMahon introduces the man Gorilla chose as the acting president in his absence. It's Rowdy Roddy Piper. Piper asks if he's Vince McMahon's boss now. And they laugh very uncomfortably. Piper asks Vince, just call me Mr. President. He's really fucking with him.
Yo, he is busting Big Man's balls
Well,
this
he
entire
was.
segment.
Roddy reminds us how he took a coconut to some guy's head and he's never been the same since. I groaned.
Oh,
Ooh,
man,
I
yeah.
was like,
Foreshadowing.
Oof. What happened first, the coconut or the gunshot? Oof.
Fuck.
Oof.
Maybe before. I think before.
Well, was it a gunshot? I think, or did he choke her? I don't know. Well, hey,
We
watch,
do have
watch,
yeah, there you go.
watch Dark Side of the Ring review with me and Chrissy Love as we discuss
Fuck.
the Jimmy Superfly Snuka episode.
Piper puts over the new generation, but they're a little confused. He's going to straighten things out. He says no government shutdown here. He says something about Newt Gingrich can't have kids. and that Piper brags about having 6. It's very, very Ness of him.
It's very. He was like, I want the baby making title. 6 times.
Piper tries to break out some rules, but he is reminded by Vince he never followed them anyway. So Piper gets rid of the rules. He says everyone's got to pay the Piper, and then he picks up Vince McMahon and spins him around like a helicopter. Airplane.
That was wonderful. Wonderful. And next was my favorite segment of the show.
Since we're talking about Vince McMahon, before we get into that, I have a note here from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. It says several WCW wrestlers met with Vince McMahon during the NATPE convention in Las Vegas. There weren't official meetings. The wrestlers simply went up to the WWF booth and talked to Vince. Supposedly, Brian Pillman was still in character, saying, "Oh shit, look who it's fucking Vince McMahon." Very crazy, very crazy. He whispers into JR's ear, though, that this is just a work. Very nice of him to let JR know that, but not Vince McMahon. Ric Flair reportedly talked to Vince about being unhappy in WCW. Go figure.
Of course he did.
Others who met with Vince were the Giant, who will eventually cross lines, the
Foreshadow.
Nasty Boys, the Road Warriors, who just joined WCW.
Foreshadowing as well.
And aforementioned Brian Pillman. McMahon was said to be uncomfortable with all WCW guys approaching him, probably for legal reasons. They're all under contract, and Vince can't negotiate with them without risking a lawsuit. And as we know, it's a little muddy with all the lawsuits.
And imagine that all of them would come over at one point or the another in the next 5 years, except for the Nasty Boys.
Who fucking cared about them? So yeah, I guess
Exactly. Unless you're Meltzer and gives almost 4 stars to a 4-minute. So we get a vignette with a familiar voice in it, and he says, "So many of life's great questions remain unanswered. Why is the sky blue? What happened to my ear? Why am I the way I am? Why are so many people so frightened of me? I don't know. Have a nice day."
From the Observer, the tentative idea for Cactus Jack's new name in WWF was the Mutilator. But that's subject to change. Foley has talked about this before. He thinks it was going to be Mason the Mutilator, and he hated it. He's Mankind, as Jerry King Lawler tells us.
I thought this was a great first vignette. It made you instantly interested in who the hell this man is by zooming in on his half of you.
Then it's time for Yokozuna versus Shawn Michaels. Shawn has a ton of fun here, just trolling and mocking Yokozuna. Cornette waves Owen Hart to come out and help. Yokozuna holds Shawn for Owen's spinning heel kick, but Shawn ducks, and Yoko receives the kick. Shawn then super kicks Yokozuna for the win. Dirty finish. Crowd loves it. And Shawn is great at these style of matches with the small guy versus the big guy. There's dissension between Yoko and Owen. Bulldog comes out trying to keep peace. Shawn watches. And then they unite to back down Shawn, but Diesel makes the save. And the heels back away as Shawn is ready to fight now.
I was like, why you didn't get out the ring? When all the heels got in the ring together, I was just confused on why he was still in the ring. I would have got out. But I guess he knew that his big buddy had his back.
Vince then interviews Cornette. Jim says everything is fine. This is fine. He then challenges for a tag team match next week on Raw. And the two dudes with attitude appear to accept.
I thought this was a good main event. This was a lot better than I gave it credit for. And probably the best Yokozuna match we've seen so far.
Yeah. For sure.
Better than Yokozuna Mabel?
Oh, shit.
I forgot that even happened now. No, let's not go back to 1990.
Erase that from my memory.
Match of the night, Yoko Shawn, agreed?
Yeah.
Unanimous.
MVP, I'm going to go with Shawn Michaels. I mean, you could just see the energy. He's the star of Raw.
Yeah, I went with Shawn. Shawn was the biggest star of the night. In the main event, he looked good. He got a good match out of Yokozuna. Well deserved.
Especially during this time. So, yeah, absolutely, Shawn.
LVP, I'm going to go with Billionaire Ted once again. These are getting very... I don't even know the words.
They're getting worse and worse by the time. Yes. It's very ridiculous. Well, since you think Vince wrote it, I'm going to give Vince McMahon the LVP. God. Just stop this shit.
I went with Jim Cornette because his house of cards is folding in front of his eyes, and he seems to be having a lot of issues with keeping his guys on the same page. 2 L's in this episode with members of his own camp being the reason why his guys lost.
We're going to count it down. And 3, 2, 1, it'll be thumbs up or thumbs down for this Monday Night Raw. 3, 2, 1. Thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Sid, why in the middle?
I thought this still had enough energy. It didn't feel like the typical boring taped Raw. It still had some good energy. Like I said, Yoko got his best match of the Monday Night Wars so far. Shawn looked good. I enjoyed the Mankind vignette. I enjoyed Roddy Piper being the reveal for the president. The main event was bad, and everything else was non-consequential. But that's a thumbs in the middle for me because the main event was at least good, and I liked other things on the show.
2 dirty finishes, and I'm going to keep track of how long the Raw ban lasts. It's lasted 2 weeks. You got your remote?
Yes.
All right, Nitro, live from Canton, Ohio. Mongo and Pepe report, sir?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is he wearing like a Count Dracula thing? I don't know.
Some kind of
like
cape.
fucking Dracula.
Yeah, the dog's wearing some type of cape, and Mongo says, "Well, let me tell you, sports fans, when the Giant puts that choke slam on you, there ain't nobody who got off of that yet. And right off the bat, we got Hogan versus Flair. That's turning into the grudge match of the century, my friends."
Eric Bischoff teases this could be the biggest night of Nitro. And it starts with Ric Flair with Jimmy Hart versus Hulk Hogan with all the ladies. Deborah, Woman, Linda, Hogan. Eventually Miss Elizabeth. She gets her separate entrance from the other ladies. Hogan is over in Canton, Ohio. Eric Bischoff, congrats to the Steelers for losing the Super Bowl. That's kind of weird, but
That was strange. Like, no, he was like, congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys, but especially a congratulations to the Pittsburgh Steelers because we
certain
worked
players
with a bunch of them.
sound the horn. Mongo alert. Mongo alert.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He was on a roll in this match.
Maybe those girls can jump on the mouth of the South and slap him around and turn him into the mush of the South. I'm so tired of him, I could spit.
It's like, what?
What?
Yes. I was like, what? He could spit?
Pause.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan with the typical comeback on Ric Flair with the leg drop. Jimmy Hart on the apron to distract. Interference by Arn Anderson, who tries to use an illegal object, but Hogan blocks and hits him. Jimmy Hart then holds Elizabeth on the outside, and Arn goes to mess with her, takes her high heel off. Hogan with the cover on Ric Flair only for a 2 count as Flair grabs the high heel from Arn and hits Hogan in the eye with it.
Jabs him.
Ric Flair with the pin and the dirty finish, dirty win. Macho Man comes out to check on his friend's eye. As he's checking his eye, he either blades Hogan himself or covers Hogan while Hogan does
blade.
We've
He
seen
was like,
Macho
"Oh, I
Man
forgot to
blade other
blade."
people before, and it's, yeah.
It's not pretty.
Yeah. It's never as clean as that one, so I'm gonna say Hogan did it. Is this
Blood and
Hogan's
guts.
Hogan's first loss on Nitro?
There's no, yeah, probably. I don't see him have lost on Nitro yet.
Yeah, this is his first singles loss on Nitro, if I remember correctly. But at least by pin.
And I have a
Didn't they
note.
lose last week too? They lost that Clash of Champions having a bad week. He's probably complaining right now backstage. All right, that's enough, brother. No more losses.
From the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Hulk Hogan put over Ric Flair. It says in parentheses, not clean, of course. Something most people never thought they'd live long enough to see. And he guesses it stems from Flair threatening to quit recently because he was tired of being Hogan's whipping boy and was upset that they took the WCW title off of him after only a few weeks. because Hogan was previously booked to win the match before it was changed at the last minute. Flair is also expected to get a bonus or raise of some kind in order to keep him from leaving. And because of the Monday Night Wars and paranoia from both companies about guys jumping ships, it gives all the wrestlers more negotiating leverage than they've ever had before.
My oh my. As things change, they stay the same.
Bischoff brags about the Clash of Champions, or ratings. He says the best in the wrestling biz. And then it's Mang and Barbarian, the faces of fear, versus the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal.
God, this match is fucking awful. Jesus. Awful.
The best part of this match, honestly, to me, was Eric Bischoff's commentary. Bischoff was on a roll from the opening entrance of the Road Warriors where he throws shade at Vince. He's like, Vince, you don't have anybody like this.
Hawk, no selling a pile driver from Mang.
Totally no sold it. Pop right back up.
The referee loses control of this. Barbarian pile drives Animal. Hawk misses his cue. He's on the other side of the ring, not where he's supposed to be. So Barbarian has to go and pile drive Animal again. Hawk dives off the top rope with a clothesline. Clearly not the legal man, but the ref lets Hawk get the pin anyway.
Get the shit over
finish.
Oh, man.
I just have to point out two of Bischoff's lines here. Bischoff says that Flair is now elite for beating Hulk Hogan tonight. The disrespect that Flair was not elite
before that. Like, what the fuck?
Before he defeated Hulk Hogan. And then my favorite of the lines of Eric Bischoff of the entire night. WCW has debuted more talent in the past 90 days than any promotion has done in the past 2 years. Look it up. And I'm not talking about RuPaul wannabes.
Where's Jerry Lawler to call him homophobic? Keep being homophobic, Bischoff.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, damn, you really throwing shade at Dustin.
Sheesh, RuPaul wannabes.
That line about the new talent, that's not the first time Bischoff has used that line.
Yeah, I know. He just added the RuPaul this time.
Taskmaster Sullivan is with Hugh Morris and Mean Gene. He's got a problem with Brian Pillman. Says Arn Anderson is not a man of his word, keeping him in check. Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman come down. Sullivan calls Brian a loose cannon.
Has a ring to it.
Yeah, it does. Brian Pillman takes a mental note. Arn chastises Brian for being nowhere to be found when Ric Flair needed help beating Hulk Hogan. And then Arn says he's going to introduce Brian to Tough Love.
It's time to take off his belt.
Took off his motherfucking belt. I was like, hell no.
Says it's going to hurt Pillman a lot more than it does him.
That's
not how the line goes. Before he can even do anything with his belt, he gets jumped by Taskmaster and Morris. I figured they would want to see Brian Pillman get whipped. Why would you jump Arn?
Exactly.
Pillman hides on the outside. Yeah, Pillman hides on the outside. But Taskmaster comes after him and then whips him with the belt. I thought Pillman kind of looked like a bitch here. Just standing there getting whipped.
Yeah. So stupid in this segment. Like,
I was like, why you didn't run, nigga? Like, what? Why you ain't
I almost
run?
felt like, is this WCW like trying to like punish Brian in a way, or like make him look like a dweeb?
Yeah, that's what it had to be that way. It had to be. First of all, you got Arn Anderson in the ring, pretty much just sunning him. Took him on his belt. then he's hiding. By the apron. Then he gets whooped anyway. Like, what is going on? Like,
Jesus Christ.
Arn Anderson makes a comeback though, and then challenges Taskmaster and Hugh Morris for a tag match.
That was just a mess, but it would not be the last segment that was a mess on this night.
Mean Gene is with Sister Sherry. Mean Gene immediately books it when he sees Madusa climbing the top rope. And she dives off the top rope, jumps Sherry, and they have a match. The match starts. Plenty of upskirt shots of Sherry to match the ones we saw of Sunny. Sherry is on the top rope, and when Medusa's about to throw her, she reverses it into a pin and beats Madusa in Medusa's first TV match.
Jesus Christ. I was like, what the hell? Medusa, this is what you left WWF for? This is what you ruined your relationship with Vince for?
To lose to a manager.
Oh my god.
After the match, Medusa German suplexes the hell out of Sherry.
Oh yeah.
I think
Knocks
Sherry got a
her
concussion.
out.
She was out.
Yeah. And then keeps banging her fucking head on the mat.
Oof. You hate to see it.
Man.
I'm trying to understand storyline wise, what is Medusa's problem with Sherry? Have they ever explained it?
No, they were both fucking the pocket. The cone.
Who?
fucking
Medusa
Colonel
fucking
Parker.
the Colonel?
Parker,
Yeah.
Parker.
They was both fucking him. Apparently, that made Medusa very upset that Sherry was about to marry him. That's the same question that my girl asked, and when I explained that apparently Medusa was having an affair with Colonel Rob Parker, she was like, that doesn't explain why Medusa's mad at Sherry. I was like,
Tale all this
point.
time.
She wanted them all to herself.
From the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's some serious heat between Medusa and Sherry Martel in WCW. Sherry wasn't told in advance about the suplex, but Medusa reportedly got approval for it from someone backstage, but the word never got passed down to Sherry. She was legit not silly on the suplex. Sherry didn't even want to work the match to begin with, but she's been on thin ice with the company since last year when she no-showed a Japan tour, and she was afraid if she didn't agree to the match, she'd be fired. But she still insisted on winning if she was going to work it, which is why she won.
Makes sense.
Sherry was basically really unconscious.
That makes sense. She looked unconscious. Like when she was slapping her, I was like, oh god, what the hell? She's not moving. This is uncomfortable.
Bruh, if I was afraid to be fired, why would I insist on match outcomes?
Like 1 and 2 don't equal 3.
Then it's time for the Giant versus Randy Savage. Out come the ladies for Randy. No Randy to be found. He sneaks up on Giant in the ring, hitting him with a championship belt. And the ref calls for the bell. Dirty finish.
There was no bell to start the match. What the fuck?
How was
so
the
confused by this.
DQ?
Ric Flair then jumps Randy on the outside, hitting him very gently with a chair. He feeds him back to the Giants. Rick decks the ref, trying to stop them. Giant choke slams Randy as Rick celebrates. Hogan with the save with a bandaged eye and hits the Giant with the chair several times over the top rope. Dungeon of Doom come out. They all get chair shots to the head. Crowd loves it. Hogan once again going crazy with the chair. Ric Flair is with the announce team. He talks about the Super Brawl tag match in 2 cages. Ric Flair is off his rocker here.
It's not a tag match. It's two different cage matches.
Matches.
Isn't there another company doing a cage match now? That's weird.
Yeah, apparently. Whole bunch of cage matches we're about to
You got one? We're going to give you 2 a week before.
The Giant gets the mic from Flair and screams uncontrollably. Hogan, your body, heart, and soul is mine forever.
You do a pretty good Giant.
Pause.
Oh no.
Flair then tells Savage he's going to take his belt and Elizabeth.
Oh man.
Okay. He teased the match. Wasn't really a match. It was an angle.
That shit was a mess.
It was.
That's another word for it.
That shit was a mess. Like the whole like final 30 minutes of this show was a complete and utter mess.
Match of the night. Even though this pains me, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, by default.
Basically.
Yes. Flair versus Hogan, definitely default win match of the night.
MVP I'm going to give to Ric Flair for the huge win, whether it was dirty or not, over Hulk Hogan, and the crazy promo at the end. Vintage Ric Flair.
I agree. Flair MVP, yes.
Same.
Absolutely.
LVP, Jabroni. I got to give it to Madusa. I mean, losing her first women's first match, and then legit knocking out her opponent
Yeah.
after.
Trying to murder her on TV.
And I hate the storyline that she's being introduced into WCW. I hate it.
Why is she fighting Sherry with fucking Colonel Parker? Like, what the fuck?
I hate it.
Who is this supposed to make look good outside of Colonel Parker?
No,
I
exactly.
mean,
Who was nowhere to be found.
I think this is the first time I'm gonna agree with you unanimous on all the 3 awards that Madusa
Look
is
at this.
obviously
This never happens.
the LVP. Like, she lost her first match. She dumped the WWF title in the trash, so she'll never get hired again by WWF until it's time for her to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And she's in a storyline that demeans women. So she's got a trifecta of LVP qualities.
That's so sad. Like, you literally leave the company as women's champion to dump it in the trash, and your first storyline is you being a homewrecker. That's crazy.
Absolute trash. Go back in that trash can and get that title belt out. I'm sorry. We're going to count it down. In 3, 2, 1, it'll be thumbs up or thumbs down. 3, 2, 1. Thumbs down, thumbs down, unanimous. 3 dirty finishes, 1 ref bump. Mongo, terrible. 23 shows. Blood and guts, we had 1 with the Hogan blade job. Let's guess the ratings. Raw had Yoko versus Shawn and Diesel versus Bulldog. Nitro, Flair versus Hogan, and Macho versus Giant, whatever you want to call that. What do you think Raw did? Last week they did a 2.9.
2.6.
I'm gonna go 2.8.
Shaquan is closer. Raw is down all the way to 2.4.
Damn.
Nitro, last week they did a 2.7. What do you think they did this week with Raw doing a 2.4?
2.6.
I'm gonna go 3.0.
Is this history? Is this No, it's not. You're both, I guess, the same. It's 2.8. Split down the middle.
Tied.
Speaking of tied, that's what the ratings are. Raw 9, Nitro 9, 2 ties. And on the True Rewind scoreboard, Sid's thumbs in the middle will give Raw a second victory in a row. Nitro is up 14-6 as Raw tries to climb back into the race.
See, that's another reason I gave Raw the thumbs in the middle. It was slightly better than Nitro. It was slightly better. It wasn't as much as a fucking mess as that last 30 minutes of Nitro was. That Nitro was just, it was just horrible the last 30 minutes. It was just ridiculous. But yes, that has been episode 32 for True Rewind for January 29th, 1996 of the Monday Night Wars. Post your comments down below and let us know what you thought of WCW Nitro and WWF Raw from this date. Let us know what you thought about the mess that was WCW Nitro and the new WWF president, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and the main event of Yokozuna versus Shawn Michaels on WWF Raw. So, for our Supreme Ivan Ooze, the backseat driver extraordinaire, Drunk Guy JJ, tell them where they can find you.
Instagram, Hackshaw_J_Duggan. Twitter, Drunken Master JJ. Facebook, Jaquan James. Follow the game.
Come on, you don't do that.
Follow the GANG. X videos, Pornhub, OnlyFans, MySpace. Did I say Twitter? Of course, on YouTube, because that's where you're watching us right now. Man, you know we're everywhere, man. All day, every day. Pimping all over the world, man.
Pimping all over the world.
Romeo, tell them where they can find you. Connoisseur of all reporting.
The Pride of
See
NY
you,
on Twitter and Instagram. And the Wednesday Night Warriors here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. This week we're covering Winter is Coming on AEW. Winter is here, finally. the NXT Go Home show for Takeover War Games, and I'll be on the Takeover War Games roundtable review too. Make sure you check that out.
Of course, you can find me on Instagram at TrueHeal_EpicSP3. You can find me every single Wednesday on Wrestling Daily on the Wrestling 2 YouTube channel with the good brother Alex McCarthy, and every Saturday on our regular weekly podcast, True Heel Heat, with Miss Chrissy Love and Top Guy JJ. Give this video a thumbs up. Share this video with all your wrestling fans and friends. And of course, if you haven't already, press the iCard down at the bottom to subscribe. The bell below that, press all for all notifications for all the great content right here on True Heel Heat. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. This has been episode 32 for True Rewind. We are signing off until next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.